So I get asked this question quite a bit. What is poor white trash, and what's the meaning behind this whole thing? I think the idea is, I've been asked this question a lot over the years. Poor white trash, PWT. It's simple yet powerful. I never, when I started this channel, when I started this whole project, I never wanted it to be about me and who I am. I never wanted it. That's not what I wanted it to be about. I figure there's too many people in the news media today that are just worried that they want to be part of the story, right? And one of the ways one of the jobs I had when I was coming up was I was a baseball umpire for when I lived out in California, and I was worked some high school and junior college games and stuff, and it was always, you were kind of that unseen essential of the baseball game. You were kind of that unseen part of it. So I always felt, as a news person, I needed to be that unseen essential, and then maybe, when you get into the mainstream media, they tend to build you up, and they tend to help you become kind of more than what you really are, right? They play to your ego, right? And sometimes that builds you up a little bit bigger and better and badder than what you really are, so I wanted a reality check. I wanted to get away from being the center of attention, and so the idea behind PWT, poor white trash, is simple but powerful. It's about being true to yourself. It's about embracing where you come from, whether it's misunderstood or whether it's celebrated. That's what this whole thing is about. At its heart, this project is not about me, not about my background, not about any of that. It's about everyone's right to be authentic and to be real and to be proud of who they are as a person. And when I talk about being poor white trash, I'm talking in the realest form of this. I'm taking a term that's meant to stereotype, and I'm turning it into kind of a badge of honor, I guess, for all of us, a reminder that we're more than just the labels that society puts on us or our job puts on us or whatever it is. This goes far beyond that. And I think this idea behind poor white trash, like I say, isn't about just one story. It's about recognizing the worth in every single human being, in every single one of us. It's about recognizing our worth, our value, who we are, whatever that may be, wherever you come from. And when we truly accept who we are, I think we begin to see others more clearly. I think that's when we begin to see other people in that more raw, real light, right? And I think as a journalist, when I started accepting who I was, my shortcomings, my failures, my whole life, when I started accepting that is when I was able to start seeing other people in a little bit different of a perspective. And I think that respecting others means seeing them through their own story, through appreciating their struggles, their resilience, and their pride in who they are. It's about creating a space. This whole project is about creating a space where everyone feels that they can show up as they are, not have any shame, not have any fear of judgment. Just be who you are, be true to yourself, and be solid to that. So I think when you see the poor white trash idea, it's not just about pride. It's not just about identity. It's about a shared right to be unapologetically real to yourself and to others on your own terms, and respecting that in other people too. And this is what I want from this, is to build a community, to build a culture that celebrates and respects other people. It values their honesty. It values their resilience. And it respects the fact that we can all challenge stereotypes that have divided us for far too long. So when I think people hear poor white trash, they just think that it's about one person, one identity, a skin color, whatever. It's really not. It goes much deeper than that. I mean, and to accept that and to take that for what it's worth, and I'm okay with that, I'm okay with that. Somebody once asked me. They said, "Well, who are you?" And I'm poor white trash. I mean, if that's what you want to call me, that's what you want to call me. I have made it my life's work, to show life for what it is, to be raw, to be authentic, to be real, to be powerful, to be dynamic, and to try to see the world through a more empathetic lens. I think too often the world is just full of fake people. We see it all the time on social media. We see it all the time in the news. We see it all the time in politics, sports, whatever it is. We see people who are just fake, and they don't own their true identity. I mean, I'm a country boy from South Texas, and I'm proud of that. It took me a long time to accept the fact that I was just, a white kid from South Texas, and I lived in a small town, rural area that, we're social capital. You hear me talk a lot about social capital, where social capital was kind of, non-existent almost, and you were kind of thought that you were going to come up and, be raised the way that your daddy was raised, or your mama was raised, or your uncle did this, or whatever. It was just kind of expected. Now, I never wanted that for myself. I never wanted to be a farmer, never wanted to be a rancher. I didn't want to work in the oil patch, nothing like this. I wanted to kind of get out and see the world and see it from a little bit different perspective, And, so, at one point in my life, I was a truck driver. I drove a truck for a few years. I was, I was a journalist, a photojournalist, a photographer, a producer. Did a little bit of on-camera work, worked in radio for a while, did all of these things. And, I think it shapes me for who I am. Every step of the way has taught me something. It's taught me something very important, very valuable. And, I can learn to appreciate everything now. At 43 years old, I probably appreciate it all more than I did when I was, 23 or whatever, But, I think that as we kind of go through this whole thing and we kind of go through this chapter, it's about getting out there, and it's about meeting people, and it's about talking to people, and it's about understanding who other people are, not just who we are as individuals. So, this is far more than just about one man, one story, one idea, one perspective. This stretches into really accepting people for who they are. That's what this whole thing is about. I remember one time I was meeting with somebody, and I won't say his name here, but he's fairly famous, and he's an athlete, I'll say that. And, he was, obviously very different than I am. He came from, Latin America, and had a very unique story. And, he always stayed true and grounded to himself, and to where he came from, no matter what. And just recently I saw the story about the legendary L.A. Dodgers pitcher Fernando Valenzuela when he passed away. This is a guy who, no matter what, he stayed true to who he was. He stayed true to his roots. He stayed true to everything that made him what he was. And I think deep down people respected that. I do. I think deep down people respected who he was and the values that he stood for. And I think that's really the key thing there is accepting that. So when people hear me talk about poor white trash, this whole PWT thing, Matt Pierce blog, the whole thing, it's not about me specifically. It's about far more than that. It's about us as humans understanding ourselves better so we can understand the world a little bit better and understand other people a little bit better and appreciate their struggles and their resilience and everything that they go through, because we have to be able to appreciate that. All right. I'm Matt Pierce. I hope that explains a little bit more about what poor white trash really is, PWT, Matt Pierce blog, this whole idea. I hope this kind of explains it. I hope it helps. We'll see you on the next shot. All right. Take care, guys.